Hey Comets, I'm sure you've all seen those posters around the hallways for clubs and groups you can join and extracurriculars. I got curious and I interviewed the heads of some of those clubs. And I'm going to show you those interviews and so you can figure out what it's all about, maybe even join one. Hope you enjoy.
I am Mrs. Stubbs. I am the head coach of the speech team. I have been in that role for approximately 3 years.
Alright. So, what is speech? Like, what does it encompass?
What is speech? What isn't speech, honestly? We have 2 seasons in speech, large group and individual. And they overlap a little bit. And students can participate in one or both. So large group, you are going to be working with a team. You are going to be, there's more acting involved. There's more, like the one act play, ensemble. You can do improv, group improv, musical theater. There's just more like layers in that way. Individual is more, I would say, what we think of when we think of speech. And so there's a lot of speeches connected to, like you can give a speech that you wrote yourself. You can give a speech that someone else wrote and gave. You can read some poetry. You can read some, storytelling is a category. There's still acting. There's still improv. There's still actually musical theater, but you're by yourself. And so these seasons overlap a little bit. So it does get pretty hectic in February because that's when we end large group, begin individual. So that gets a little bit busy, but really you could do almost anything with speech. If you are interested in writing, but you're not interested in performing, we can find a place for you. If you would like to be backstage, we can find a place for you. If you would like to, videos, editing, you can make movies, you can make short films. There's all kinds of speeches, everything right now. Like all the things, speech.
Another question is, what's like the main purpose of speech? Is it like confidence booster?
That's a good question. So I think speech has a couple, I think there's a few answers there. So first off, it is a place to practice communication skills. And so whatever type of communication skills you're interested in, like I've already said, like writing, reading, all of those things are a part of speech. So you're practicing skills that you will use in your life. Getting comfortable standing up in front of people is a really important skill that we often don't think about. The other is just that feeling of a team working together. Everybody who is a part of speech, like you're all on the, like they all, I don't really do a lot of recruiting for speech. People bring others in because of that like team camaraderie, relationship. When I was a student, I loved speech because I loved going to the competitions and meeting new people. And a speech competition is not like, I guess, it's not like a lot of competitions in the fact that everyone is cheering for you to do your best. And even if that, it's still a competition. We still want to win, but there's just more camaraderie and like relationship than I would say in some other competitive clubs.
All right, and why do you think people should join speech?
I think you should join speech because it's fun. But it's the team, like the kids you'll be with. They are some of the nicest, most open-minded, hardworking kids that we have at North Polk, and they're fun to be around. I'm the head coach. My daughters are about to be 12 and 8. And they're always hanging around. They're hanging around the speech kids. And I'm happy that they get to be around these types of high schoolers who are good role models, good leaders. So I think everyone should think about speech to develop your skills, develop those relationships, and everyone belongs on the speech team. We can find a place for everybody.
Is it just you speech and all this, or coaching it?
So I've had, the last 2 years, I've had 2 different assistant coaches, and right now they have an application open for an assistant coach, so hopefully we will have an assistant coach soon.
And I got a last question.
Okay.
What's the difference between speech and debate?
Speech and debate. So a lot of the skills, like the speaking skills, the standing up in front of people, the thinking on your feet skills, like those are the same. But in speech, you have a wider variety of that you can do. So, like I said, you can be acting, you can be singing, you can be editing film, you can be improvising. Where in debate, it's just pretty straightforward. There's a lot more rules and structure on that.
All right, that's all.
Awesome. Join speech.
My name is Morgan Ianson Rankin, and I have been doing speech for 3 years now.
All right, so what does speech mean to you?
Speech means being able to use my voice in ways that are really meaningful and purposeful. I love to write, and I love sharing my story or perspectives of, or like bits and pieces of stories. I love being able to share like things that I think are important and that are meaningful in everyday life. And I love being able to kind of empower other people to use their voice and share things that are important to them.
All right. Has there been like a major struggle for speech? Like a hill you gotta get over?
As a community or as like me as a person?
I guess both.
As a community, so last year we had a bomb threat, unfortunately, at Large Group State, at State. And so that was a pretty big hill because there were some groups that didn't get to perform that day. But for me as a person, the process of actually writing my piece or my pieces is really frustrating. I'm a perfectionist, and so if I don't get something perfect on like the first try, it can be really hard for me to not give up. And so just continuing to write and continuing to edit and revise and come up with new ideas can be frustrating, but it's also so rewarding when I figure it out, and I'm happy with my script.
And why do you think people should join speech?
To use their voice. It is so important to understand communication skills between your peers, between it's just like standing up in front of people and being able to talk. Public speaking is the #1 fear in America, and doing speech greatly diminishes that. Having to be able to stand up in front of a group of people and just talk is so vulnerable, but it's so beneficial. I absolutely adore speech. I have noticed that like talking to people is so much more easy for me. I can communicate more effectively and clearly. I can use my voice in ways that are really meaningful and powerful and have a real impact on people. And I think that's so cool.
All right, just a final few questions. What's your favorite part about speech?
Oh gosh. Again, I love being able to use my voice, but my community is one of the best parts about speech. Speech kids tend to be pretty outgoing and kind of weird sometimes, but just being able to be in a community with people who really enjoy the same things as you is really cool. I love being able to talk to speech kids and just see what their interests and values are because they are always so interesting.
All right, and
I'm Mrs. Nordstrom, a family consumer science teacher and FCCLA club sponsor.
My name's Ruby and I'm a junior.
I'm Addison and I'm a sophomore.
all right, what does FCCLA stand for?
FCCLA stands for Family Career Community Leaders of America. It's a long name.
So what does FCCLA like encompass? What is all of it?
Yeah, it's a national organization that focuses on kind of community, careers, and leadership skills. And there are different conferences that we can go to and students can compete. There's a national convention that happens in different places around the country every year. This year the students have the opportunity to win a spot to go to Orlando. And we'll be doing like fundraising and some community service, and kind of depends on like the members of the club, but we'll do some different projects that relate to maybe their career interests as well.
So what activities do you guys do? Like,
Well, we're a brand new club, so we don't necessarily have a specific activity yet that we will do, but we're getting ready right now to go to Fall Rally, which is in Cedar Rapids, where some of the students are going to compete in a cooking competition, and that's kind of a big kickoff for the club. All the club, like a bunch of different chapters will be there from around the state of Iowa, and the students can like get some recognition and awards for their competitions that they do.
that's good to know. How long have you two been in FCCLA?
This is my first year being in FCCLA.
I was in it in my middle school, and then the last 2 years of high school I helped with them.
Okay. What is it like to be in FCCLA? Like stressful?
No, it's like really fun, and yeah, I just have fun.
Why do you guys think people should join FCCLA?
Well, I would say that it's a great way to work on different leadership skills, get to know other students in the school, and I think it has some unique like competitions, and you know, there's like the state competition that students can go to, and there's just kind of unique ways to earn recognition and test out some skills, especially if they're interested in doing anything with like culinary or child development or interior design. Those are a lot of the areas that the different competitions will focus on, so they can kind of build their skills in that.
So FCS is, I guess, like a starter for FCCLA?
Yeah, so FCS classes tie into FCCLA. It's kind of like how the ag classes work well with FFA. FCCLA is geared towards students who take FCS classes and maybe have an interest in doing something within one of those areas. So, yeah, so the students in FCS this year are going to be kind of the people who help get the club started, and then after that, like anybody could join. I mean, still anybody can join, but they do have to take an FCS class at some point in their high school, middle school career.
Do you guys have any like meetings, any specific days?
We don't have a set day yet, but we are going to meet once a month. Probably it'll either be like on a Tuesday or a Thursday, but we will have a meeting once a month. We just had one today, but we'll have another meeting coming up sometime in October.
And final question is, what's your guys' favorite part of FCCLA?
My favorite part is just meeting all of these new people, and when I get into a competition, I think that will also be my favorite part, and just like making the stuff.
Yeah, I think meeting new people is fun.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun that we get to meet with other chapters around the state of Iowa. So it's not just North Pope, but we'll actually get to meet other students and leaders from across the state of Iowa, and then possibly at a national level, meet people from different states and work with them. So that's what's kind of fun about it.
When you say competitions, is it
Yeah.
just like baking competitions, or is it all over?
It's all over. There's a couple like cooking challenges at the state event, but there's also projects that students can prepare for, and then they would present in front of a judge. I know some people might focus on like childcare or child safety, some might focus on like interior design or fashion design, and then they have to meet the project requirements, but they get to like present it to a judge or a panel of people to have them kind of give them some feedback and then score them on how well they met the requirements. So there's definitely more than just cooking involved, but that's usually a popular one. So yeah,
That's all.
cool.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm Misha McElravy.
I'm Hannah Holland.
So, what is Comments for Christ?
So, Comments for Christ is a student-led Bible study led by myself and about 5 to 6 other people. And every Tuesday morning from like 7:15 to 8, we have donuts, and it's just a time for people with the same beliefs just to sort of convene and have fellowship with one another. But it's also an opportunity for us to dive into the Word and learn about what it has to tell us and just how we can apply it to our lives.
So this isn't a school-owned club?
No, this was, so a couple of years ago, they had FCA, but that fell through, and we could still see a need for like the gospel here at North Polk. So a couple of students just decided to put one together, and it's flourished ever since.
Do you guys have any other meeting times besides Tuesdays?
No, it's mainly just on Tuesdays because FCA's kind of started back up again, so they'll have things on Saturdays that are more like game nights, or this morning we did prayer at the pole. So they mainly cover like the game side of it, and then we'll just do Tuesday mornings, Bible studies, things like that.
What is FCA?
FCA is the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, so that one like is an overall chapter, then each school normally has one. So we have like a advisor from, I don't know, where is she from?
Polk City, actually.
Polk City, yeah. So that one is more like we'll do dodgeball tournaments. There was a food fight a couple years ago. It's kind of come to an end. Yeah, prayer at the pole, where we just all gathered at the flagpoles up front this morning and had a prayer over the school. But yeah. Yeah.
So the main point of your group is to speak the word?
Our posters around the school say that our number one goal is to teach the word and truth. And by doing that, that means at its whole, so not taking pieces out of it that might be out of context, looking at it in context to what it meant then and just how we can apply it to like our lives now.
Yeah, and just like making it known more throughout the school, because a lot of people do find peace in having like a greater person to look up to. So like we're a public school obviously, so there's differing beliefs everywhere, but like having areas that different students can go, because there's like lots of clubs with like SCPC with like the environment, so just another chapter of kind of like the same thing where people can go to like find a better community with what aligns with their beliefs too.
And a last question, why do you think people should join the group?
So I'm not gonna tell people like, oh, if you like don't do this or don't do that, then you're not a Christian, because that's not true. But if people are what they claim to be, which is like, if people claim to be Christians, then we believe that they need to be living that out by their lives. And you can't teach what you don't know. And our main goal is just to like teach other people. We're not gonna stand out there and be like, hey, like come do this, like it'll be good, like it's like the best thing that you can do. But just showing up matters, and hearing from what God's word has to say matters. So if it interests people, go on. We're not going to hate you or judge you for it if you don't. So.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think just like having or like finding a group of people who have the same beliefs as you in a public school can be hard. So having the opportunity to discuss and learn more about it, I think interests a lot of students, and I think just like anyone who is interested, they should come because it is a lot of fun and we do learn a lot together. So I think it's just a good opportunity for all of us here. But
That's all.
Sweet.
That was only like 3 out of the 7 interviews I could have done. You gotta do the rest of the searching yourself. I think you should figure out a club you wanna join, you know, don't just do your classes, do something else. Go beyond. Well, that's all for this video though. I hope you liked it.